One episode showed a kid lose his arm while begging his dad not to leave him, and it was banned for being too real. These Adventure Time episodes weren't pulled for monsters or gore. They were banned because they talked about things too dark, too painful, and too true for kids' TV, like depression, broken families, and being born in the wrong body. Let's unlock the hidden vault of Ooh, where dark truths, lost limbs, and broken hearts wait to be seen. But don't forget to like and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Number 7. Princess Cookie. It all begins with a crime, but the real crime was not the hostage situation you see on screen. It was the story's courageous and heartbreaking honesty. In Princess Cookie, we're thrown into what looks like a simple parody of a bank robbery movie. A desperate chocolate chip cookie holds a supermarket hostage demanding a princess's crown. But as Jake, our heroic dog, gets closer, he uncovers a truth so painful the censors in places like the United Kingdom decided it must never be shown. The cookie, whose name is Baby Snaps, tells a story of lifelong sadness. As a lonely child in an orphanage, he met Princess Bubblegum. He told her his deepest secret. He didn't want to be a boy. He wanted to be a princess, just like her, to bring joy to the world. And she laughed in his face. That single cruel laugh broke something deep inside him. This wasn't just a villain's motive. It was a powerful, heartbreaking story about being born in the wrong body. A story of transgender identity told through a fragile, crumbling cookie. Next, we descend from a darkness of the mind to one of the flesh, where a single act of violence broke the hero forever. Number 6. Wake Up and Escape from the Citadel. This is the point of no return. The two-part premiere of Season 6 was not just a story, it was an execution. It was the moment the creators of Adventure Time took the unspoken rules of children's television, threw them in a cosmic prison, and watched them melt. For international censors in the UK and Australia, this was the ultimate betrayal of the cartoon contract, and their response was absolute. They banned the episodes entirely, ripping a gaping hole in the fabric of the show for millions of viewers. The story is a trap. Finn, our hero boy, finally has a chance to meet the father he never knew. The fantasy is perfect. His dad must be a great hero, a leader, a legend. But the reality is a cold slap in the face. His father, Martin, is a selfish coward, a cosmic criminal who cares for nothing and no one, least of all, the son he left behind. The emotional devastation is brutal. We watch Finn's lifelong hope curdle into ash before our eyes. But it is the physical violence that sealed this story's fate. As his father flees the Citadel prison, Finn desperately clings to his escaping ship, screaming the question that has haunted his life. Why did you abandon me? In that moment, the cursed grass sword that has become part of him turns on him. It wraps around his arm, a cage of green energy, and his father's ship pulls away. His arm is gruesomely, graphically, and permanently ripped from his body. Now we turn to an invisible wound, a sickness of the soul that was deemed too messy for the cartoon world. Number 5. Breezy. After the horror of Escape from the Citadel, Finn is broken. He has lost his arm, his father, and his girlfriend. He is drowning in a deep, dark depression, a numbness so complete he says he feels nothing. This is where the episode Breezy begins, and it is a journey into emotional terrain so raw and uncomfortably adult, it was swiftly banned in the UK and elsewhere. This story was not just dark, it was morally messy, and it held up a mirror to the unhealthy ways we try to heal ourselves. A tiny flower grows from the stump where Finn's arm used to be. He becomes obsessed with the idea that if he can make the flower bloom, his arm will grow back. A doctor tells him he needs to be having fun, and Finn, in his teenage grief, interprets this in the most desperate way possible. He begins a make-out tour, kissing a series of princesses not out of love or even desire, but as a joyless task to fix himself. The entire episode is a thinly veiled and brilliant metaphor for using casual, meaningless intimate encounters to numb the pain of depression. From the darkness of the heart, we now enter the chilling prison of the mind. Number 4. No One Can Hear You. This episode is different. It is an early experiment in terror, a sign of the darkness that was always lurking beneath the surface of Ooh. No One Can Hear You is a masterclass in psychological horror, so effective and so genuinely frightening that it was censored or removed from reruns in numerous countries. Its power comes not from a monster, but from twisting the things we love into sources of dread. It begins simply. Finn breaks his legs and wakes up 6 months later, but the world he wakes up to is wrong. The kingdom, usually a place of noise and joy, is utterly silent and completely empty. The sense of isolation is immediate and suffocating. This is the first horror trope the episode expertly uses, the feeling of being utterly alone in a familiar place that has become alien. Then, Finn finds Jake, but it's not the Jake we know. His best friend and brother is living in a dumpster. His eyes are vacant and he's talking nonsense about a surprise party. He doesn't even recognize Finn. Then comes the body horror. Finn sees bugs crawling out of Jake's ears. The terror skyrockets. The monster isn't some creature from a dungeon, it's the corruption of the show's most loyal and lovable character. Jake, the ultimate companion, has become an unpredictable, terrifying threat. Now we examine the fears born not from horror, but from simple, uncomfortable honesty. Number 3. Gotcha. The episode follows Lumpy Space Princess as she tries to write a book on seduction using Finn as her target. Her attempts are clumsy and the dialogue is filled with blatant innuendo. Broadcasters in Asia, Brazil, and the UK saw this as too hot. But the hidden truth is a double standard. Finn's crushes and romances were a core part of his character arc, framed as normal coming of age. But when a female character was the one in charge of her own, albeit comical, intimacy, the censors recoiled. It was banned not for being X-rated, but for letting a girl be the one driving the X-rated comedy. Behind the scenes, this episode was the brainchild of storyboard artist Akko Castiera and Jesse Moynihan, a creative team known for pushing the show to its most surreal and psychologically strange corners. This was not a lazy collection of dirty jokes, it was a deliberate character study of LSP, pushing her established vapidity and desperation to its logical, uncomfortable conclusion. The creators weren't just trying to be edgy, they were holding a magnifying glass to a deeply flawed character, forcing the audience to confront the sad reality behind her entitled behavior. The network, in its panic, saw only the surface level innuendo, failing to recognize the sharp satirical mind that had engineered the entire scenario as a test of character, both for LSP and for the censors themselves. Number 2. Mortal Recoil. The Lich, the embodiment of pure evil, possesses Princess Bubblegum. Her body decays, twists, and is finally shattered into pieces. Though she is rebuilt, she is changed. She is de-aged to 13 years old. Censors in the UK saw a scary monster, but the real horror was the lasting trauma. This event changed Bubblegum forever, making her paranoid, controlling, and obsessed with security. The episode was a dark metaphor for how a violation can strip you of your identity and leave you forever scarred. Its banning left a huge plot hole, but the network preferred confusion over a lesson in trauma. This episode was a declaration of war from the creator, Pendleton Ward, and his team against their own formula. They had unleashed the Lich, a villain too powerful and too evil for a simple Monster of the Week show. The shattering and de-aging of Princess Bubblegum was a deliberate act of creative sabotage designed to permanently break the show's status quo and force it down a darker, more continuous path. It was the moment the writers threw a bomb into their own happy kingdom to see what would grow from the ashes. The network's fear was palpable. They were terrified of this new, serialized storytelling, a format that meant events had consequences and characters could be permanently broken. Number 1. The Creeps. It's a classic ghost story, with a terrifying ghost girl with blank eyes haunting Finn. This single scary image was enough to get the episode censored, but the final twist reveals the true darkness. The ghost was fake. It was all an elaborate, cruel prank by Jake to scare Finn on his birthday. The horror wasn't supernatural, it was psychological. Your best friend, your brother, deliberately making you believe your friends were being murdered all for a laugh. The episode explored a darkness in friendship itself, a cruelty that can exist between people who love each other. It was a truth more unsettling than any ghost, and the censors could not bear to look at it. What if the scariest thing about Adventure Time was the truth it dared to tell? Are these bans really about protecting kids? or silencing reality. Like, subscribe, and question everything.